Villager trading halls, they can really make trading with your villagers very, very simple. This is a massive build that you put together to make trading super simple. You like a villager, you turn them into a zombie villager so that you can turn them back into a normal villager super simply and get the best trades because they like love you whenever you do that. Or if you hate them, you can just destroy them. It keeps them all in one spot. You can easily switch out professions if you want to. This is an incredible build. This is by One Tick Pulse. He is in the description down below, so please check that out. This is his design that I am recreating. Absolutely incredible. So let's jump in. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and this is what we will be building. Ignore this thing right here because it's kind of in the way. So this is what we are going to be building today. This is a super advanced villager trading hall. It can be expanded to larger than this size. So if you want to just keep going with it, you can. That's totally doable. Right now, this has 9 villager trading slots, and it has the ability to turn villagers into zombie villagers and then back. That way you can get the absolute best trades, and it automatically places a single villager into each slot without you really having to do anything. So let me go ahead and just get this villager spawned egg. Obviously, you could happily use a villager breeding situation and then get them into this whole thing, and that would work just perfectly. But just because I'm in creative, I'm going to use some eggs. So let's just spawn in a few villagers. We really don't want baby villagers in this whole situation. That would not be super great. But as you can see, they go down the line until they fall into their trading pit. The first of each of these, this water is just a little high, so they will take a little bit of fall damage, but not that big of a deal. And you can see we have 2 open ones over here. It has the ability to either kill a villager or switch it out for a zombie villager. So let's say you like their trades and want them to get even smaller. Make sure they get up to at least a novice. They get past the novice. So this guy say, you know what? I don't really like your trades. You could do two things. You could break his lectern, which should take away his job eventually. And then you could put it back down. And obviously this isn't working out so great. So we can kill him. Or let's say we love his trades. So let's go to, you have the exact same trades. Depth Strider 3, of course we want that one. Oh, heck yeah. Fortune 3, no, okay. Fortune 3 is actually pretty good. Okay, let's talk to you. Hi, Mr. Fortune 3 guy. We're gonna definitely trade as much paper as we can with him in order to get him all the way up to the next level. There we go. So now he is all leveled up. He is an apprentice. And now we're going to get better trades with him, keeping that Fortune 3, better prices by turning him into a zombie villager. All you have to do is click this button, boop, and he goes away. He goes all the way down this chute, and then he's going to float along until he meets this zombie right here. If you are in hard mode, there's a 100% chance that he will change into a zombie. If you're on normal mode, there's a 50% chance. If you're on easy mode, 0% chance. So you do have to be on hard mode or at least normal mode. Otherwise, you'll lose your villagers. Once he turns into a zombie villager, zombies sink in water to turn into drown. Now, he's a zombie villager, so he won't ever turn into a drown, but he comes down here to get ready for processing of turning him back into a normal villager. All that takes is a weakness potion and I'm in creative mode, so I don't actually need all these things. And a golden apple. Holy moly, that's loud. And then eventually, it's about like 5 minutes or so, he'll turn into a normal villager, float back up without dying, and then come all the way back over here and go back into his little trough. Well, let's say this first guy, you know what? We didn't like him all that much, okay? I hate you. You're horrible. Or maybe we accidentally upgraded him and we have a better version of that already in the system, and we just don't need him anymore. We want him to die. Well, before we clicked the button here at the top to turn him into a zombie villager, but if we just click the note block only, that will sink him down into this lava, and he will die in the lava. We have two methods for switching him out. There's lava in all of these, and so if you just click the note block, they die, and then if you click the button, then they go through the lava. This is actually a system which is really cool. It picks up the lava right before he goes through it. So we'll do that right here, and you can kind of see the lava right there. Just keep an eye on that. Let me just get a good shot of that. And then he falls, and he goes right through it before the lava can kill him. And I'll do that one more time just so you can see how awesome that is. There it is. And then all these guys are going to get changed into zombies. There they go. And they'll all be back down there for processing. So let's get to building this bad boy. First off, notice how tall it is. It's a lot taller than even I expected it to be. So if you want this to be at ground level, you're gonna have to go up a ton of blocks. These zombies are sitting on this block right here. So from the ground level, you'll have to go up. I have the ceiling. This is the 21st block right here. This is the 20th block. But so if you just wanted to come up to where we're gonna start building, you would instead go the 15th block up. I'm gonna go ahead and build this one a little bit taller than the one I did there, so we shouldn't hit the ground there. But we're gonna start here with 9 blocks with every other block apart from each other, just like this. Next, go ahead and decide what is gonna be the front and the back of your build. And that is mostly because you want to place these trapdoors in the same direction, whichever way you decide. So I'm going to make sure that these trapdoors can always open where when it's in the open position, it'll be to the right of me. Now we're going to come up 3 blocks on every single one of these little builds. Now go ahead and place a temporary block just above each one of those trapdoors, and head to the back of your build and place an observer block facing into that temporary block. Then you can destroy that block. Now come around to the back and add just any type of block. It doesn't have to be wool, but just add any block to the back of that observer golem. Observer block, holy moly, why am I calling it a golem? And then place a bit of redstone on top of that. Then have an observer observe that redstone. So make sure you put one facing into that redstone. So it'll look like this with the face on the bottom. Now back at the front of your build, go ahead and place down a block on top of the observer and then a piston pointing towards the front of the build. And so you can just place these all down at once. Now place another piston facing towards the front on top of the output of that very, very top observer. Then take some stairs and place them into the bottom sticky piston facing upwards to create a smooth surface on the top. Next, place down trapdoors onto the top of the other piston, and remember your spacing that I have all of my trapdoors opening to the right. We're going to want to make sure that they all do that as well. That way, our villagers will always be in the correct area that they're standing in so that they fall correctly down in. If you do one on the right and one on the left, your villager may end up standing on a trapdoor when you want them to fall through. Now place a piece of string on the front of all of these observers, and they're gonna fire off. They're gonna do a 1-tick pulse here, and that will extend the stairs here while leaving an opening down below. Also, go ahead and I kept these open just to demonstrate that they all need to be opening in the same direction, but you can go ahead and close all these trapdoors, and then set in another layer of trapdoors just above that string, but have this one open in that direction, and go ahead and keep it open. If you want to, you can just place all these down, because our next step is to head to the back of the build, and every other sort of opening, we're going to put down a lever. So you can see there's a trapdoor there, there's a trapdoor there. So if we power this block, it will open both trapdoors and keep them open. That means that way any other redstone signal that comes around, and there will be a few redstone signals sort of flying around, it'll make sure that those are open. I already opened these other ones, so it's not going to sound like it's doing anything, but now these will stay open for us as redstone pulses send around signals around them. Now we're going to go ahead and head down to the end here, and make this all encased so that our villagers will not fall out of our build here. And we're just gonna use glass on the front here, and we're gonna go up at least 3 high. That way, as the water pushes them around, they won't just bounce against the ceiling here. Now, this is the front of our build that we're looking at right here. Make sure that you do add a pocket because the villagers are eventually gonna come up a trough here from the water. So you can see that right here. So make sure you just add a little pocket for your glass so that they can, oh my gosh, I have a wandering villager down there. But anyway, just go ahead and do that. Also on the other side with the pistons, you do not want to put glass in front of the sticky piston. So make sure that you're constantly building around those pistons and not getting anything in front of them. There we go. So I have completed all that. Now you're just gonna add a little bit of a roof onto the top, and we're just gonna do that with a half slab. That means that that will give our villagers 2.5 spaces to bob around and float in this build. Now we're gonna go ahead and place down a little bit of water. So we're first gonna put down a sign so that our water doesn't flow out the bottom of the build. And then we're gonna place water source right above that sign. And this is the front of the build here. So we're putting it on the left side. That's just gonna create a little waterfall. And as the villagers come down, one will fall into the first one, which trips the tripwire, which will activate the observer, which sends a pulse right here. That sends another pulse up to the top, which is another 1-tick pulse, which will end up grabbing this door here, moving it out of the way, and also grabbing this stair and pulling it back. So the stair goes in place, the trapdoor moves out of the way, leaving enough space for the water to continue to flow. But as we know, water sources only will flow for 7 blocks. So if we count out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's going to end right about here. So we need a way to continue the water flow onwards as our villagers continue to pour in. So how we're going to do that is we are first going to break this out. This is on the 4th sort of cell inwards, and we're going to have our observer pointing directly into that stair. So when that stair is pulled backwards, that will trip this observer, and the observer is going to send a 1-tick pulse to a dispenser, and that dispenser will go ahead and dispense a bucket of water. So we're going to have a new water source block right here. We'll need a little bit more complicated bit of redstone here. This observer is going to be looking for that water source to kind of pop into existence. Then it is going to send a redstone signal into this block right here. We're gonna have another block back here with a bit of redstone on top of that, but we need it to point forward. So we're just gonna add anything, any type of redstone device, could be a lever, could be a button, to point in that direction. I messed up just a bit. Oh my gosh, don't go any further. This full block should actually be a slab with a piece of redstone dust on top. Then over here, we're going to need to add a sticky piston and a redstone block to keep this redstone working. And we're going to add a redstone torch over here, and that will complete all that. Do make sure that you add your glass back to where we broke everything. So I think there's... Is there any more over here? Any glass broken? No, just that one. So make sure that you add your glass back. You do not need any glass where this redstone is. You will need to add 1 sign because this dispenser will dispense the water right here. We don't want it flowing back the other direction, so we're just going to add a sign right here to stop that water flow, and then replace your glass. Okay, this is what our build looks like so far. This is basically the trough that will catch all of the villagers. Now it is time to build the redstone around the note blocks to go ahead and either kill or transition them into becoming zombies. So go ahead and add a little bit of blocks right here, just 2 blocks to the front to give us some space to work. Now go ahead and add your note blocks, and you may have to hold down Shift in order to get them not to accidentally click. But you're going to add 2 note blocks on top of each other. Once the note blocks are down and you have all of them stacked on the top, place a button on the top one. Now this is the front of our build. We're going to head around to the back of the build and place a observer pointing into the top note block, just like this, and then another observer pointing into, the bottom note block to catch either the bottom or top note block firing off a redstone pulse. Once again, this is the front of the build. On the back of the build, we are going to add a block for these to fire into, and then attached to that block is going to be a dispenser, and that dispenser is, instead of water, going to have lava inside of it. So make sure you add a bucket of lava to each of these. If you happen to be in creative mode like myself, I think you can hold down Control while you click that, and then my lava bucket holds the NBT data from the last dispensers, so I can just add a lava bucket in there, and so all those have lava buckets in them now. Now this is going to be our death trough, as we saw before, and this is a really, really ingenious sort of redstone situation. I absolutely love it. We're just going to go ahead and build this out so that our villagers won't escape. So we're going to fill in with blocks or glass, whatever you find most appealing. And you will have to come down at least 4 blocks and then fill all of this in. So all that I have done is created walls that are 4 high with a 1 block space inside of them for the villagers to go through here. And then in between each trough here, you're going to want to make sure to actually like trough this off so that our villagers will not go into each other's little areas. Okay, this is looking pretty good so far. Next is the fact that our lava will pop out of this dispenser, and we need to make sure that it doesn't like continue to flow. So we're just going to put a sign underneath each dispenser with nothing written on it so that our lava will stay in place. And once again, to reiterate, what we just did in that step is we created a tube for each of our villagers to go down, and we created walls around just an area for them to fall into. Now, before we move on to the next step, you do need to put the lava down. So we just put those signs down. Now we actually need to activate the lava, and you can do that by just clicking the note block itself, and that will put the lava down. What's happening is this observer below the note block is noticing that the block above it was updated and sending a pulse to that dispenser. So we're just going to dispense all this lava, and then I can show you just how ingenious this redstone is. So remember, whenever we click to the button, the villager stays safe and falls through. The lava gets picked up and the villager falls through. So the trapdoor falls, the lava gets removed, and the villager goes on to get attacked by the zombie and turns into a zombie villager, and then we can change him back. But if we click the note block itself, they fall into the lava and just die. And the reason that is because if we click the note block, this observer sees something has changed and drops the trapdoor, but without changing anything below. So this observer doesn't notice any change to this note block, so it doesn't remove the lava, so the villager falls into the lava and dies. But if we click the redstone actually powers this block, which powers the block below it, which updates this observer. And the redstone has 2 signals, or 2, one on state and one off state. So this observer notices it twice. So it sends 2 redstone pulses to the dispenser, which picks up the lava. And then when the redstone pulse is done, it puts it back down, which removes the lava. So that's why all of this can work so compactly that when you push the button, it's sending a redstone signal to the observer. But when you just click the block, it only sends the signal to the trapdoor and does not remove the lava. Both of these, both redstone and clicking just the block itself, will update the this observer, which will switch out the trapdoor. Now let's go ahead and add a floor to this little death chamber sort of situation right here. And at the very, very end of all of this, we can actually go ahead and break these blocks and break the floor. This is going to end up being another trough down to the bottom of our situation over there. Next, we can go ahead and add a little bit of water, and we're going to use signs once again to keep everything flowing correctly. So we're going to place down water, see where it flows to. It stops right here. So we're going to place a sign right where it stops, a sign over here so our water doesn't go the opposite direction. Place down some water, and it continues to flow just straight off of the edge here. What we're going to do to stop that is we're going to put down some trapdoors, but we're going to place them down inside of that block and then go ahead and open it up. And we actually want this to face... Shoot, I need to put down a temporary block. Or actually, I can place it at the top of this block and then open it that way. And then use that one and open it that way. So these are going to be sort of our wall, but they're also going to keep that water from flowing anywhere. We already placed down 2 of these trapdoors. We need to place down 5 more, so 7 in total, and we're going to continue to do this method of placing it on the one below it, and then go ahead and open it up. Whoops, and my creative mode is freaking out. You can also do that a little bit faster by placing all those just like that. Now, on this very, very last block, go ahead and actually destroy that and place a trapdoor down. This is where we are going to trap our villager. And you can use tons of different methods in order to trap the villager, just getting them in there, or possibly even blocking this up, getting the villager into the water flow, and then using the trapdoor to just open it up, let them fall in. But we are going to have to trap a villager right here and just use whatever method you want in order to do that. Make sure that you do place down a trapdoor. Whoops. All right. And open that up. That way they cannot escape. It may also be useful for you to switch this block out with a half slab, and that way they will stand a little bit better. We don't got time to do all this in survival, so we're just gonna go ahead and place down that zombie right there, and he has plenty of room to stand, and then you just need to name him anything. I'm gonna name my zombie name tags. So either you need to name him so he doesn't despawn, or you need to make sure that it's a type of zombie that will hold something that you just gave him, and then they will not despawn. And he's just going to hang out here. Now you need to waterlog 2 of your trapdoors. Right before we do that, though, we are going to bring this stained glass all the way down so that it doesn't flow everywhere. But you're going to want to waterlog the block at his feet and the one at his torso. So you can hold down shift and waterlog both of those trapdoors. Cool little interesting thing is you open the trapdoor and the water comes out, and then you close the trapdoor and the water stops flowing. It's pretty cool. Now we are going to create an area for the zombie villagers to switch back in. This is going to be that chamber at the bottom. So you're going to need to give them a few blocks to travel so that we can give them a little bit of water to help push them along. In fact, we can go ahead and add that water now. I think we can actually just waterlog this. There we go. And then it'll flow over here. We're going to do the same situation that we've been doing on all of the other things, which is to place down a sign right there, a sign right here, and then we'll eventually add some more water source blocks. Actually, I think that we're going to do that here and there. So come back to me, sign. We'll put you there, and then not that one doesn't matter anymore. So go ahead and just fill this in, and you could also fill that in just so that our little guys will be going this direction. And now we're going to build our trough for them. So this is just going to be a 5 block wide situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And then we'll cap the end right there. And this is, they're going to have to be sunk so that when they turn back into villagers, they will float. So we need to sort of sink this down and also have an area for them to float up above. So go ahead and lower this trough by 1 block right here, and then add a floor to that. And then go ahead and raise the trough up also back to this original sort of height. So you're going to have some space here. Now you do need a spot for you to send your weakness potion through. So go ahead and break open slot And we're going to send it through here. This is a water source. This will eventually be water sources, so we will need to put a trapdoor just right here, just to make sure that we can still reach inside of there. And we're going to go ahead and add water sources here, 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 and here, and one right there. And now we are going to want to create some water sources for the villagers to continue to flow up here. So we're going to place some temporary blocks, and that's just to get the water to start flowing in the right direction. And we're also going to want to trough this all off so that our villagers will not escape or be hurt by anything. And this trough is going to go all the way back to where we started. Remember how we were talking about how we are going to go up and meet up here, this tube, our villager tube? Well, this is where it is going to meet up. So make sure that your walls match all the way up to that. And I'm going to go ahead and add the walls to this tube as well. That goes all the way up. We had this one broken just to throw our villagers in if you're in creative mode. If you're not, you're going to have to get your villagers in here a different way. I suggest using boats. But there we go. Just to recap, we have created this entire tunnel here, all enclosed, to reach over here, which will eventually head all the way up. Now I'm going to break this so that I can put in my water source block, and it's going to flow over in this direction. And as we've been doing, we'll put down a sign, another sign, and some water up here, and it'll make sure that it flows over, and they will keep on moving on. Then over here, we're going to do the same thing. And now this is going to go straight upwards, and we're going to have a water source underneath that sign, and this will create the water flow to get them up to the top. Now, all of these blocks right here were just to make sure that our water flow was accurate, so we can actually go ahead and break those. I'm going to break these all temporarily so that I can just reach up here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is going to create flow down here. So our villagers will head this way, turn into zombie villagers, head this way, sink to the bottom, wait for us to hit them with our weakness and our apples. Once they do, they will switch back, float up to the top, and continue flowing along. We can go ahead and add our glass back right there, and right there, and right here. Oh my gosh, I destroyed so much glass. If you want to, it's not needed. You can also add some glass to just in case you're zombie, just so that nothing bad happens to him. We are very, very, very close to being done now. We just need to add whatever block of choice we want for our villagers to turn into. The lectern is a nice one because in the first trade, you get that enchanted book most of the time. And so the lectern is a pretty popular thing to add as a villager trading thing. And then you can also add a glass pane underneath the stairs, and that'll make sure that if you ever break this block to get a new trade, that they will not escape from their little hole. So you do need to add this glass pane right here. Now our crazy creation should be complete. So let's just go ahead and add a few villagers in here just to double check that it works. And it seems to be working just fine. Fall in there, and then that would open up. Here, we'll add a few more just to show that all the redstone is working, that they're pushing along, looking so great, looking so good, falling in. What? Why did? What? Oh, I pushed somehow. Up. Yeah. See, this is. I spoke too soon. What I did incorrectly was I put this slab. I'm going to try to edit this in later, but this should not be a full block. There should be a slab, and then we should push this redstone dust right there, and then that should all work just fine. Okay, I've got my contraption working all again. Just some troubleshooting bits, by the way. If for some reason one of these is closed without a villager inside of it, so there we go, just like this. So it's closed, but there is no villager inside. All you have to do is make sure you just update this string as fast as you can, and then it'll send out that 1 tick pulse to open that up again. And also remember that that redstone torch right there is set there so that it constantly keeps that trapdoor open. So as that pushes there, it'll open that trapdoor when it's underneath. So you do need that redstone torch there, and everything should be good. And now, once again, if you like their trades, you go, oh my gosh, impaling 1, that's the best. I want this at a really, really good price. Click the button, and then they will flow through down to be turned into a zombie villager, and then you can turn them back into a normal villager, and that will give you the best prices for the trade. And if you absolutely hate them, you can click on the block itself, like who wants aqua affinity? No, not me. And kill them, because they'll try to float inside of the lava there, and then they'll head back down to the bottom. And that is it. I think that this is an incredible, incredible design, and I haven't had too many issues with it. Mostly this, if you accidentally mess this up, that can be a little bit complicated. And also every once in a while, you'll have to update that string, because like, let's say just an item gets placed into that area. That'll update the string. If I could throw, there we go. So that just updated the string, and now when I remove it, then it updates it again. So sometimes that can cause issues as well. But other than that, this is just a fantastic build. Once again, a huge thanks to One Tick Pulse, who is creating some redstone amazingness over at his YouTube channel. So please, I encourage you to check out the description to see his channel. Thanks so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure that you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. I'll see you next time. Bye.